I grew up in a place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race. Every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way. Had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream, I be in my mind up there.
Good morning everybody, how is all going? Alright, on my last video, which was this one, air compressor power use and noise test, I had a request from David, that looks like, to do a walkthrough of the complete system setup, battery size, inverters, controllers, water heating, house heating, etc, etc, etc. So basically he wants a quick, well it won't be quick because he's actually asked for quite a lot there. David, I see you're a subscriber, so you get what you asked for. I've still got to reply to Norm. Norm, I'll get around to replying to you in a minute after I do this video, mate. Okay, so what's our system running? Okay, well, it runs like, this is my gaming computer, because I do a little bit of gaming from time to time. I quite enjoy a little bit of gaming, and as you can see, and then we're also trying to reorganize our planned trip on the iPad, so that's why that's turned on as well, because of the cyclone Ilsa. It's just, yeah, it's put a really big spanner in our plans with all the rain up there and the washed out roads. And of course then we've got my wife's computer, which is on all the time, 24 hours, it doesn't get turned off. Then we got the security system, that's just 4 of the cameras there, because we don't turn the inside ones on. Well, we know what's going on inside, but they're on, but we don't show them on the screen. We don't show all 8 cameras. And then we've got other stuff that records not just the image, but also the sound of what's going on outside, and that all uploads to the internet. So that happens whenever they detect something. This is our inside, one of our inside air conditioners. This is a heat pump unit. When it's cold and we've got sun, we use that to heat the house. When it's not cold, we heat the house with the firewood stove. And that's a normal house. This is our massive air conditioner over here. That's the one that unit is a salvage. It's very, very old. It was salvaged out of Calabaron Hospital when they pulled that down. It takes, to turn it on, it takes around 14 kilowatts just to turn on. So it runs my inverters into overload for just a few seconds, and then it runs, and it goes beautiful. But we only turn that on sort of when it's over 40, getting close to 50 C, because the air that comes out of that comes out at 0 degrees Celsius, as I've showed in previous videos. Then we've got the TVs, just normal stuff, people, normal household stuff. We got kitchen appliances, lights, microwave oven. The stove is LPG top, LPG electric hybrid at the bottom on the stove. So if you've got a lot of sun, you can cook with electric. If there's no sun, then you can still cook on the oven with the LPG. Alright, and that's our inverter fridge. Extremely efficient. It's made by LG. It's a few years old now. I should do an update video on it. Extremely good fridge and freezer combo. Absolutely brilliant. Alright, I've got to get stuff ready outside. Got to unlock the power room and the batteries. So I'll get that done and then we'll... So here we are outside. As you can see, it's a very dark day again. Okay, I'm just walking down here. So on the shed you can see there's solar panels all over the roof of my house. You can notice there that I'm missing 3 solar panels. I had trouble with water ingress with those panels. When I put those 3 panels back on, that string back on, I will then again just be over 10 kilowatts, but for right now I'm just under 10 kilowatts of solar. Okay, and they're north and west facing panels. So on that side of the house north, this side of the house is facing towards the coast, which is the west. Okay, so that's where the little air conditioner comes out up there. The hot water service, of course, is on. As you can see, we had our showers and everything else. It's 46C and the time is currently 10:25. We didn't get much sun yesterday and we won't get much sun today. We are, however, still off grid and not needing to run the generator. Okay. Alright. Excuse me. Over here we have the batteries. There's 24 of them. 12 at the top. They go all the way back there. Oh, that door's still shut, but they go all the way back there. Okay, and return there. Down the bottom is the negative. Up the top is the positive. Now, these batteries are extremely good batteries. There's the information on them there. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Okay, so basically we'll just go to this battery here. So this combined is a 1000 amp hour 2-volt battery. Inside this battery there is 4 batteries, 1, 2, 3, 4 2-volt batteries. Okay, at 250 amp hours of battery, which makes this a 1000 amp hour 2-volt battery. But it also means it gives me 4 strings, 1, 2, 3, 4 at 250 amp hours a string, because they're 2-volt batteries all in series. Okay, you can see the series here. You can see they go from negative to positive, negative to positive, negative to positive, all the way up and back, and that gives me my, well, it's more than 48 volts. It's almost 60 volts if I want it. Okay, but I charge them at around 58 volts or something like that. I can't remember offhand, it's in the charge controller. So what does that mean for the performance of the battery? Well, that means each battery, each complete single 2-volt battery will take around 300 amps in charging. These are an AGM battery. I don't charge it anywhere near that, okay, but in theory, according to, okay, I can put 300 amps in each battery, which is just a huge amount of power. I don't put anywhere near that per battery. The most I've seen my system charge at is just over 150 amps, and of course that's split by 24 batteries. Well, there's actually more, because inside each of these is 4 batteries, remember? So it's 4 times 24. Why did I choose these batteries? Redundancy, people, redundancy. you can see at the end here I've got a 50 amp fuse. Okay, now if I ever do get a bad battery, which means an internal battery that starts feeding back on itself, this 50 amp fuse will blow, and then I just got to put my multimeter on it, find out which one's blowing and repair it. Simple as that. I haven't touched these batteries since I put them in. They're going on to 7 years now. They're still performing as new. Yeah, I mean, they're just an extremely good battery. You know, you've got to, you have to size your battery to your system, and with AGMs you only really want to be taking out the top 20 or 30%, and occasionally when it's like this and you need to have your 3 days redundancy, because this is size, so I have roughly 3 days redundancy depending on what the missus is using inside. Yeah, if I had lithium batteries, I'd probably only need 500 amp hour at 48 volt battery bank. Okay, but because I've got AGMs, and the deepest you should ever discharge a lead acid battery is 50%, no more. I try and keep mine at 20 to 30% state of discharge, which gives me sort of 70 to 80% state of charge. Okay, and then your batteries will love you long time, and trust me on that, proof is in the pudding, people. Alright, and then they're wired up the big bus bars, and there's the Midnight Classic Whiz-Bang Junior shunt down there on the negative bus bar. Okay, this is a positive bus bar, and it works absolutely brilliant. Alright, that goes into my house. I've got a Holy Jesus switch there, so if I've ever got a fire or a problem in the house and I need to shut the system off quick, those little light clippy things I got on there, they break really quick if you're in a hurry. You just rip that open and you drop that fuse, and that's it, everything's off. That's why it's called an emergency battery disconnect. I could have called it an oh shit switch or a Holy Jesus switch, lots of names for it, but you know, anyway. Alright, the signage: keep out, authorised persons only, high DC voltage, authorised persons only, high voltage, authorised persons only. Okay, that's to let anyone that goes in here know that there's high AC, DC voltage, and they should not bloody well be in there. Alright, and it's as simple as that. Okay, no one should be in there. This shed is kept locked unless I'm here. Why? Because DC voltage can kill you just as quick as AC voltage can kill you. Alright, now in here, just recently I've put all this Victron gear in here so it communicates with the web and talks, and I can you can look into this stuff yourself if you need it. Here I have a really old MPP solar ink inverter, now known as Maxim Solar, in Taiwan. This used to be a 4 kilowatt unit, and there goes a really noisy helicopter. Up there in the clouds somewhere. Okay, sorry about that. Let's get back to this. Now, that used to be 4 kilowatt. I couldn't get the board for it, so I put a I got a 5 kilowatt board because basically it's the same shape, and I shoehorned a 5 kilowatt board in there. Had to redo some wires. Geez, that's noisy, that helicopter. Had to redo some wires to make them all fit, but that's a backup inverter, and it's also charging my batteries through the generator that's down in the shed, the 2.83 kVA generator. They call it a 3.2, but I think it's closer to a 2.8. Okay, so, and down here we've got, again, sand-filled fuses. Slow blow, they do blow. If there's a problem on my 48 volt side, all this here is DC down the bottom. Running in that tube there is my AC, and that cable right down the bottom coming in and going along and up to this inverter is my generator. Okay, and that all that does is charge the batteries through the DC through here. That's all it does. It doesn't run direct loads in my house, it just charges a generator. This fan is blowing here for this Victron charge controller. Why, Chris? They're air cooled. Yeah, they might be air cooled. I've got very big wires on this, okay? These ones are 16mm squared, these ones are a bit bigger, 35 or something like 25mm squared, I think. Okay, why have you got a fan blowing on that? Quite simply, people, these get bloody hot, and I found out that the heat from the charge controller can run down your wires to your battery fuse and down or up these wires to the isolation switch, solar isolation switch. Okay, and these switches were actually getting red hot because of the heat that was running down here. As soon as I put the fan there, no more heat problems, no more hot switches. I've been trying to get a FLIR camera. If anyone out there has a FLIR camera and is local to me, please let me know, because I really want to film the way this heats the wires up. Okay, I really want to film it because I think it's dangerous. Okay, that being said, look, I love the Victron gear. Just put a cooling fan on it if you're putting a lot of amps through it. At the moment, I've got 13 amps coming through that. Alright, and my battery's at 52 volts. This unit here says my bank is at 91%. The other one will say it's 2% higher. So we'll just call that 92%. We go in the middle, you know. I'm not sure which one's right, but we go in the middle. And even though it's really, really cloudy and dark outside, where you can see the amps that's going into the battery right now. Alright, that's covered the solar charge controllers. This is a 150. Okay, all my strings on my roof are labelled, so I can tell here I've got 2 strings, A and B. Here I've got 3 strings, A, D and G. And E, B and F are over here. And C, this one's got C on it. Yeah, I know what's going on here. Over here I've got other disconnects because I'm really, really careful when I'm working on DC current. My DC current is under 130 volts DC, which means I can legally work on it myself. My AC current, I get electricians in to do the work, because this is Australia and they require that. Why? I don't know. There's a lot of really bad electricians out there. As you can see if you look at my shower video, it's called Death in the Bathroom, Hidden Death in the Bathroom. Anyway, that's basically my system, mate. Again, these are 5 kilowatt MPP solar, now known as Maxim solar inverters. Beautiful inverters. Don't get fooled and buy cheap clones off eBay or from China. Taiwan is not a part of China. If it's not made in Taiwan, okay, it's a clone basically. Simple as that. And the clones, the software is different, everything's different, and it's not worth buying a clone, people. Yes, they might be very cheap, but they're also very nasty. These run my house at a constant 230 volt 50 hertz. Why do I have two, Chris? Simple, because I need the surge for some of the bigger loads, like that really old National air compressor there, air conditioner compressor. That's the one for the big brown air conditioner inside that pumps the air out at 0 degrees C. That's probably older than most of you are. Okay, and these are in series. What happens if one turns off? Well, you get a short in one and it turns off. Well, look, the solar's still going in, but now that one's running my house. Okay, so that's redundancy right there. Alright, it basically doesn't do anything. There's no lights, flicker, anything like that. I've got two running to share the load and as redundancy, and then if both fail, I have Old Faithful here. Okay, and then I can also direct plug if I need to. I can direct plug into that switch there and switch that over to number 2, so I can direct plug a big generator or something in if I need to. There you go, that's my system. Yes, it's a long video. There's a complete rundown and look at my solar system. I guess you want to see the generator in the shed too. Hang on a minute. Let's go down. I believe the missus has already unlocked the shed this morning because she needs to prune some trees out the front and put its green waste pickup, so we prune all the trees. They do that once a year. So that might be a mess in here because we've been busy. Whoops, water drips. Okay, so this is my generator. That's where it plugs in and it goes underground to the back of the shed. And that's it here. That's a tiny little generator I bought from Outbacks. It cost me, at the time I bought it, about $700. It's meant to be around 3.2, I think. But I get about 2.8 out of it before it starts to really slow down. And no one, when I've got this running, I'm not disturbing my neighbours. They can't hear it because of the way I have it enclosed and the way it exhausts. They just can't hear it. That's it, people. I think, yeah, and there's the kids getting charged up by the very cloudy, overcast day. Look, they've all got names. This one's Dusty, this one's Shikai, and this one over here is Ty. There we go. That's Ty, that's Shikai, and that is Dusty. Alright, keep safe everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up please. I hope you all stayed right to the end and actually get this message. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and definitely give me videos a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't like it. Either way, it helps my channel. Thank you very much. Bye for now.